Okay. Hi, everyone. I have Caitlyn as our guest speaker today. Caitlyn and I met at the New Leadership Conference in January. I don't even know how we actually officially met. Were we in the same group or something?
We were doing calls for Premiere, I think. We were in the same group with Alex.
But wasn't that after? Or that was before?
It was before.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we did our headquarter calls together. So once you get to, I think is it Diamond or 1 star that you get calls?
1 star. Okay.
When you hit 1 star Diamond, which means you personally sponsored a coach that has hit Diamond rank, you get set up with someone from headquarters and you are on group calls. And Caitlyn and I did our group calls together. And then we went to the New Leadership Conference. So we hung out there. So yeah, we've just been talking ever since. So Caitlyn is a 2014 Premier Coach. She's a 3-star Diamond, a Success Club 5 All-Star Legend, right?
Just hit Legend, yes.
So that means she has hit Success Club 5 for the past 24 months, straight consecutive months. So that's an awesome achievement. Congrats. And she's a social worker, a full-time social worker, and does Beachbody. She should be quitting her job soon. That's the goal. And she just was recently married in October. So she's basically just getting back from her honeymoon. So Caitlyn is awesome with her warm market. So when we met, I think I was just starting to be better of reaching out at my warm market. So we kind of tossed ideas back and forth of, she was really good at the warm market and I was better with social media. So I wanted Caitlyn to get on the call because that's definitely not my strongest point. So I wanted her to share some of her tips and also share a little bit about how she manages her successful Beachbody business on top of working a full-time job. So you can take it over.
Okay. Well, Amy, thank you so much for having me on tonight. Like Amy said, I'm a pretty busy, I work full time as a child welfare, foster care and adoption social worker. And I'm sure just when you hear social work, sometimes it's definitely a very challenging, sometimes draining job. And so when I found Beachbody, I found happiness again. I lost a lot of fire in my full-time job. I just wasn't passionate about it anymore. I also needed to make some changes in my physical transformation, and that's kind of where I started with Beachbody in March of 2013 was when I signed up to be a coach. And so I don't know about you guys, but when I started, I was not into doing a business. I was not wanting to do anything with it financially. I just wanted the discount because I fell in love with Shakeology and I wanted to benefit from saving 25%. So, but like many people, when you start your transformation, people start asking you questions. They start to see you and you start to share your story. And for me, that was a lot of my warm market. I had a lot of friends, coworkers, family members that I developed relationships with, and I was able to start to share my story with them and how some of the health struggles that I was having in the past really changed because of Beachbody and the products I was using. So the financial aspect of things definitely got better by working the business. So like Amy said, I was going to talk with you guys a little bit about, I have a slide, a presentation about consistency in the business and sharing your story and that sort of thing. So I'm going to share screen that now. Hopefully I do it correctly.
Usually takes a second to pop up. Let's see. And then did it pop up a window that, oh, there you go. That's perfect.
Okay. So you guys see the
yeah.
PowerPoint? Okay.
You just want to hit the slideshow button.
This is really sad. This is the first time I'm share screening. We used to have Instant Presenter and then they got rid of that. So now we do all of our calls on Zoom.
Yeah.
So, Okay. So as you guys probably have heard from Amy and other coaches, in order to be successful, in my opinion, is you have to kind of be consistent every single day. It always depends on your goals. I know for some of my coaches, they don't have the goal of quitting their full-time job, but they have other goals, like they want to pay for their product, or they want to have extra money to spend time with their family, do family outings, that sort of thing. But I still share with them the importance of being consistent in this business, because I've known firsthand when I'm not consistent and I'm not doing my vital behaviors and I'm not doing my power hour, my business, I start to see a decrease in my volume, my team cycles, that sort of thing. So I wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about that. Okay, so the first thing that I always like to share with my coaches is having a plan of action when it comes to your goals. So, for me, I always have my coaches have set goals monthly. It's a new month, November just started. I always like to talk with my coaches about their goals that month. And usually it's, for a lot of them, it's hitting Success Club. Success Club for them is a non-negotiable, or recruiting or adding a certain amount of coaches. And so I always like to tell my coaches and tell people that having a plan is so important. And this quote always stands out to me from Eleanor Roosevelt. It takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. So, we can sit here and wish for things to happen and goals to happen, but if you don't come up with a plan of action, I really don't see, and this is, for me personally and things that I've done, I really don't see the success happening unless you have a visual plan of action with your goals. If you know where you want to be but can't figure out how to get there, start with your goal and work backwards. So, and that's kind of reverse engineering your goal. So for me, I personally had a goal of quitting my full-time job October 30th of this year. Unfortunately, that goal did not happen, but I've sat down with my husband and sat down and did a budget of what I need to make in Beachbody in order to quit my job. And so that goal may not look like that for you, but in order to set a goal, in order to hit Success Club 5, what does that look like to you? Well, I need to invite a certain amount of people. I need to connect and form relationships with people. So that is something that I always encourage my coaches to do. First off, to kind of sit down and create a plan of goals for the month. Okay, so I always tell my coaches and people, I don't know about you guys, but personal development was never something that I thought I needed. And it's funny because when I don't read personal development, I start to struggle with my self-doubt. Negativity starts to run in. So I always tell coaches that in order to be successful, you have to have belief in yourself. We see what's possible with this business and the future of this business. And I always think it's so important that, believing in yourself and believing in your team really makes this job that much more easier. My upline, or I guess 3 uplines above, is Scotty Hobbs. I'm part of the Bombshell Dynasty kind of team funnel, however you want to look at it. And this quote he said in one of his team calls a couple of years ago, I think when I first started, and it has always stood out to me. It says, goals are like magnets. If you believe in your goal and your purpose and then work consistently towards them, you will attract people into your life that will help you hit your goals. And so that's something that finding what works for you, finding like-minded people that want the same things as you is really going to make you successful in connecting with other people. So consistency, we talk about this all the time. In order to be successful in this business, you have to show up every single day. This job is so cool because you're your own boss. You don't have somebody, telling you have to be in at 8:00 in the morning. There's nobody pulling you out of bed. So it's one of those things where, no matter what's going on in your life, you have this vision. You have to cut the excuses and give your best to yourself, your team, your coaches, your customers, and anyone else out there that's watching. And I will tell you that when I am not being consistent as a leader, my team follows that. My team follows that pattern. So I would say in August and September, I was using excuses of, I have to plan. I have a month or 2 months till my wedding. I don't have time to do my power hour. I don't have time to do my invites. My team was watching me, and it's so true. Like, you have to do, as a leader or as a coach to your team, you have to make sure that you're being consistent in those daily to-dos. And again, just treating it like a business. I use this analogy a lot of times. If someone handed you the keys to a Ferrari, you make sure you didn't scratch the paint. You're giving this, well, I would hope so. I don't know if you would or not, but you're given this amazing opportunity to create a successful business for yourself. So you most likely would want to treat it like a successful business. You're your own CEO of the business, and it's so important to act like it is your business. Okay, so you've probably heard this too in trainings, talking with Amy, and how the importance of sharing your story and sharing with people who you are as a person. So what I like to do and tell my coaches, and I try to have them pick 5 things that make them who they are, or what describes them. And a lot of times for some people, it's, my family. Could be that you're faith-based. It could be that you're a doggy mom. Like, you share a lot of, I think of Amy with her new dog. Like, you share a lot of posts of your dog. Of course, one of those is going to be health and fitness and nutrition and Beachbody and that sort of thing. You want people to be transparent in your life. You want to show them who you are, what you do. You want to share with them what works, what doesn't work, share your experiences, and even share your struggles. I don't know any Beachbody coach that's not perfect and eats 100% clean all the time. And, it's so important to share with people that you're talking to that, you struggle in this area. For me, I love wine. I'm a big red wine drinker. And I know when I'm doing the 21-day fix meal plan, or the 21-day fix extreme meal plan, I'm sharing that I really want a glass of wine right now, but I have to show my challengers and people that I can do this. They can do this, as long as we have the support and accountability, of one another. So it's so important that, when you're sharing on social media, when you're talking to people and connecting with them, to share with them who you are, because that, they're going to want to come to you. Like-minded people attract like. So they're going to want to come to you when they're struggling, knowing that, you're on this journey with them. Another thing that I like to share with people is knowing your purpose. We talk a lot about developing your why in our team and our trainings. And I think it's so important to know why you started this journey as a Beachbody coach. It may change. My why has changed so many times since starting. And so it's just really important to know what your purpose is and what your, essentially what your why is to being on this journey. Okay, so my daily to-do list is probably very similar to a lot of coaches. We talk a lot about the power hour and what should be on that power hour every day. Again, I'm taking from Scotty Hobbs because he's one that I have really looked up to on my journey, and I've really liked some of his formats of to-dos and that sort of thing. But he basically had shared in one of his trainings that if you work from a daily list or a daily to-do list, you will experience the power of getting things done. So in my opinion, a successful Beachbody coach works from a list. So if you simply stick to your list and repeatedly follow it each and every day, you will end up working more efficiently and earn a lot more from your time. So I always ask my coaches, at the end of each day, when you review your daily checklist or review your daily power hour, if my team of coaches did what I did today, would my business grow? And hopefully the answer is yes. So I always like to think, and I don't know if, Amy, do you have like a files tab that has like examples of power hour lists and to-do lists and things like that in your group and your team page?
Yeah, I sent all my coaches like a video and a document with a to-do list, but yeah.
So I mean, something like that gives you an idea and gives you an idea to your coaches of what they should be doing every day in order for their business to grow. And so these are very broad, very simple, that should be done every day, in my opinion. It's something that should be on your power hour. So these are things that I do. I meet and connect with, I don't know why it says with a new, it should be 2 to 3 new people daily. And this could be on social media. I have recently started to reach out in my community because just finding new people. I'm doing stuff like business card exchanges and things like that, because for me, I'm not as successful on social media as somebody like Amy. Like I have really good experience with my warm market and connecting with them, but my warm market had eventually fizzled out. And so now I'm trying to reach out in the community and working with people that I can connect with on a variety of ways. So, and in that sense, I form relationships with them and engage them in my invitation process with them. I schedule social media posting. This isn't something that I do every day. I don't share about my challenge group every single day, but this kind of goes hand in hand with your 5 things that make you who you are. So I may be sharing one day about a transformation. I actually, in my group, I create a calendar that gives my coaches ideas. I actually do this also in challenge groups, gives my coaches ideas of what to post. So for example, share a tasty recipe from the 21-day fix that you like or that you have enjoyed. I'm just pulling it up here on my phone here. So for November, Sunday, we're doing a 30 days of what you're thankful for. So just kind of gives them an idea of post every single day. On the 15th, we are starting to promote our coach sneak peek. So that gives them another post. Towards the end of the month, we know we're getting ready for Hammer and Chisel. So starting to post and talk about promoting your test group or however you want to word it. So it just gives my coaches some ideas of posts and how they can invite and engage new people into their network. And then, of course, I have made this such a habit now, because I noticed that without my personal development, things start to shift. So I encourage, it doesn't have to be reading a book. I know if people tend to travel and they're in the car a good bit, audio, listening to podcasts, YouTube videos, anything like that is a form of personal development. So, okay, I think this is my last slide here. So the other thing I try to encourage, as a coach, I try to encourage my team that we're here to help people. We're not just about the financial gain of selling a challenge pack or, that sort of thing. So I try to encourage my coaches to run free groups, free clean eating groups. We recently did a free group on how to manage and handle stress better. Anything like that can help somebody in their journey. And again, they may not be buying a challenge pack right now, but you're adding people to your network, you're creating that relationship with them, and hopefully down the road, they're going to want to continue working with you and working on, becoming a better them. So that is, I think, all I had. I hope I didn't speak too fast, Amy. I tend to do that a lot.
No, that was good. Some of the good things that I took away were it takes just as much time to plan, or just as much time to wish as it does to plan. The big thing about belief, consistency as like a leader, even if you yourself don't have any coaches, you can still lead as if you had the biggest team. Act like a CEO, share your struggles, like attracts like, and to-do lists, which I'm huge about as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love, if my coaches did what I did today, would they be successful? So that's another like leadership thing. It's like you can't expect your coaches to do something you're not doing. So I definitely liked that. I have a question, and then open it up to questions.
Sure.
As far as so you said you're going into your community and inviting people that way. Can you kind of walk us through how you invite people in your community?
Sure. So I've actually been stepping out. I used to be somebody that invited mostly behind the computer, through social media. And I've been successful with that, but I have wanted to reach out more so to my community, like the Chamber of Commerce that we have. I'm trying to get more active in that, to share with them that I am a health and fitness coach, and that I'm here, if they're struggling. I've recently talked at a Rotary event here. We do a lot of vendor shows, that sort of thing. So those are all things that I have done in the past and am continuing to do in order to branch out outside of Facebook. Facebook is I do a little bit of Instagram, but Facebook has always been my go-to when it comes to social media and inviting and networking.
Yeah.
So those are, and what I would encourage you guys to do is look. I mean, you can even look on Facebook. There's a thing called Meetup.com, or I don't know if it's Meetup.com, but it shows you activities in your area that relate to what you enjoy. So you could be interested in hiking or, some yoga, that sort of thing. And you can find different events in your area to meet new people that have the same interests that you do.
Cool. I just found the website and I just posted it in the chat if anyone wants to use it. That's a good tip. That's cool. Nice. And then I have a question for actually everyone. Who here has a fear of like their warm market, like reaching out to people they know? Does anyone have that fear?
I do, a little.
Little? Yeah. I see a lot of hands going up.
Me too.
You have, and that was one of my bigger fears when I first started. I feel like I was just so good at.
You're the opposite of me. You could just talk to anybody, and I would just talk to the people that I knew. For me, it's so funny. Your family and your friends can sometimes be your worst critic. They can sometimes be the ones that are judging you and are like, okay, what is this you're doing? For me, my family in the beginning was like, okay, let's see how long this will last. Like, and it was about my physical journey and everything that goes with it. And I just got to the point where I had to just believe in myself. And I just was just starting to invite people that saw me personally, and that was my coworkers. And most of them came to me. Yes, they were my warm market, but most of them reached out to me and said, hey, what are you doing? Can you tell me a little bit more about, how you've been so successful in reaching your goals? I guess, are you, and this kind of goes to everybody, are you guys afraid of their response? Is it going to be negative? Is it going to be judgmental? I mean, is that kind of the fear when it comes to reaching out to your warm market?
Yeah, no, guys, the response. I know for me, my fear was I'm from a small town,
Mm-hmm.
so like everyone knows everyone. So for me personally, it was like before I would send a message, I was like, I'm going home for Thanksgiving in a month. Like, do I really want to run into them at the bar when like a week ago or a month ago they were like, nope. So that was like, for me, that was my big fear. And then I just kind of like, I personally got over that. And it was completely, for me, a mindset thing.
Yeah.
And just people seeing your consistency and stuff. People, like you said, people started coming around. But I think that's definitely all a mindset shift.
Yeah. And like you said, the consistency, my warm market, like it lasted longer than I had thought, but I think it was, again, the consistency of me posting and showing people that, yes, I'm still doing this. Yes, this is a lifestyle for me now. I've changed habits. I want to show you that you can do this too. You're struggling. I'm here. I'm here when you're ready, basically.
Yeah. And what are some things like to reach out to your warm market? What, like, for instance, on Facebook, what would you say to that girl you went to high school with, but maybe you weren't the best of friends with, or something like that?
I would actually what I've done in the past is I've gone, say, like, I haven't talked to them in a while. I'd go to their page and I would just look at what's kind of happening in their life right now. Do they have kids? Are they married? What they do for a living. Again, we go back to forming. And then I would just say, hey, it's been a long time. I've noticed you have, 2 beautiful girls. How are things going? What are you up to these days?
Mm-hmm. And then the conversation.
Usually I get the conversation, continues to flow from there.
Yeah. Cool. I'm sorry. Does anyone have any questions for Caitlyn that you guys can think of? Come on, don't be shy.
I have a question. So how much luck do you have, like, with your community, the people you reach out to? Do you find most of them, like, they commit to maybe a challenge pack, or they're interested in coaching, or do a lot of them, like, you mention it to them and then maybe they follow, or you follow up with them and then later on they decide to join a challenge or something? Or how?
Yeah, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The past few events, after I've gotten their information or reached out to them, I haven't gotten really anything initially from that. But I don't know if down the road, now that I'm friends with them on Facebook, like I've added them to my network. Maybe they'll see the consistency, and maybe when they're ready, they'll reach out to me, and that's my hope. I'm just trying to continue to add more people into my network because there's always so many people that need our help, in my opinion. So
exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay.
No.
Well, Amy, thank you so much. If you guys don't have any more questions, I really am very appreciative for.
Yeah, thank you so much for getting on.
This has been nice meeting you guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was really good. I loved your slideshow. Good quotes on there.
Oh, there it went. Okay. All right, guys. We'll have a good rest.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.